And we knew we wanted kids right from the beginning. And when the doctors told us that I probably would never be able to have kids, that was really a devastating blow to both of us. We'd had so many negative tests and so many heartbreaking moments.
There were lots of struggles that we had to deal with in those 13 years. And it was lots of back and forth wrestling with the thought of, what's wrong with us. I know Emily struggled with that a lot. What's wrong with me? Why can't I have kids, right?
So we did a Bible study, yes. And it's even if, and the verse in Daniel that's here is when they're standing before the king and he's telling them to bow down before the statue, and they say, our God can save us, but even if he does not, we will not bow down. We will not worship this idol. And that became, even if I never get to be a mom, even if I never get to carry a baby, my God is still God. He is still good. And I will continue to serve him no matter what that looks like.
We were finally in a place the last couple of years where we had reconciled with the fact that we were not going to have kids of our own. All the pressure was off. We're not going to have kids of our own. So we're going to live life together the best that we possibly can, the way that God calls us to.
So when I started feeling really bad and sore and really nauseous in the morning again, it wasn't really anything big. I mentioned to Ben and a couple other people that it was longer than a week now, and they said, you should probably take a pregnancy test. And I stayed in denial and refused to do it for about 4 more weeks. Ben just sat me down and he was like, we're gonna try it. Like, it's not gonna change anything if you are. You still need to know. And so he went out and got a test, and yes. And I took it and it was positive before I set it on the counter. And I was like, no, it's a default. Like, that's not real. And Ben's like, no, we're having a baby. And I was like, no, it's not. That's not true. I'll try it again in the morning. I'll do another one in the morning. And I was awake at like 5 o'clock in the morning the next morning and went ahead and went in and took a test. And again, it was positive before I set it on the counter. And I called all over the place trying to get in and get an appointment to see the doctor and get an ultrasound. We got in, got an ultrasound, and found out we were 12 weeks pregnant.
Right off the bat, we both decided that her middle name was going to be Grace. Because the Lord has shown us unmerited favor. And her first name is Sophia. And it's not a family name, but it is special to her.
We were kind of looking for an old school name for her because we're a little old school.
We like tradition.
We did not have an easy delivery. She was 3.5 weeks early. I was emergency admitted to the hospital, and we ended up having to do a C-section after I'd been on lots of meds and I was not reacting well to the meds. Through that entire journey, I wasn't scared about how she was getting here. I wasn't scared for her to be here. Even if anything happened, I knew God had it under control, and so I wasn't scared. I wasn't, just pretty chill for being somebody who was not chill during that time.
God's still working. He's still moving. He knows what the plan is for us. Well, he softened my heart. Much as I don't want to admit it, for a lot of years I had a hard heart towards him. I was angry with God. I was angry at the world because all I wanted to do was be a dad, and he wasn't giving it to me. Selfish as that is, he's definitely softened my heart.